Yo, what's up, YouTube Nation? This is your boy Alexander. I'm back. Today's video is gonna be a different type of video. It's Sunday. I'm watching the NBA playoffs. You know, Golden State versus San Antonio Spurs, Game 3. Spurs in there trying to trying to do something that's never been done before in history. Come back from a 3-game deficit. You know how those all turn out. You win one game or two games and you still get put out in the first round. That's a prediction, by the way. They'll still lose to the Golden State Warriors, and the Spurs will be eliminated from the playoffs, and Golden State will advance to the second round. So that's a prediction, but that's not what today's video is about. Today's video is to help men understand, and I'm going to call the title Sex Game or Sex Talk. We'll probably go with Sex Talk, then Sex Game. The Sex Game is where I show you pictures and footage of me going to the gym working out, which I'll do later in about a half an hour. So hopefully this video ain't too long or too short for your taste. Thank you for having 35 subscribers. A new subscriber has subscribed to my channel. And when a new subscriber subscribes to my channel, I always say thank you. Now, we'll probably call it Sex Talk 101 or something like that. And we'll have in the title Sex Talk 101, Be a Rock Star and Not a Creep or Weirdo. We'll figure something out with the last part of the title. And we'll put it again in the description. Now, in all my videos, I always talk about how you need to display masculine energy, masculinity. And I always say in these videos that there's a right way to get women's attention, and then there's a wrong and improper way to talk to women. So before I tell you the good, the bad, and the math and the science like I do in all my YouTube videos, let me tell you the story and then we'll get into it. So this past week, I think it was either a Monday or a Wednesday. I think it was either, if I'm not mistaken, I would probably say it was a Wednesday then a Monday. Either case, the story goes, there was this guy that goes to the Grove. That's where a lot of rich, famous Hollywood celebrities shop at. And he likes to go to multiple stores and talk to highly beautiful, attractive women that are 8s, 9s, and 10s. And he likes to harass women. By the way, this is how we get the word sexual harassment comes from. And he kept harassing all these women, but he keeps coming to this one particular store that I work at, and he keeps harassing this one young girl. Now, he comes to the store 3 times in 3 days in a row of each other. And he keeps telling the girl, well, I gave you my phone number. How come you haven't called or text messaged me? And she goes, well, I work 5 days a week for 8 hours on a 6 to 8 hour shift, and I can't just pick my phone up and call you and text message you while I'm at work. I can get in trouble. Which she is telling the truth. But that doesn't register with his brain, obviously, because he don't want to hear that because he thinks that's an excuse. So he gets desperate, and like any heterosexual male would do, is he would just start speaking to random females and just say whatever comes to his mind with no thought of consequence, and then wonder why later in these type of cases that all of a sudden the police pop up to his doorstep telling them, here goes a complaint that we got that you keep harassing this female. You know, and I'm pretty sure this guy's got to be 20, 21, 22 years old. He looked like he's Asian or Filipino or mixed. I'm not too sure. And because I'm a security guard, it was my job to make sure he didn't do nothing crazy or weird or strange in the store. Now, some of you might ask, what's the definition of a weirdo or a creep? Well, it's a person that does something out of characteristics that's not normal. They do something that's strange. Something like they'll walk up to you and right in front of you, they'll talk to themselves. And usually you see this a lot, whether you're on the bus, on the train, at the movie theater, at the park. You see this guy and he might be talking to himself in front of you. That's one way of looking at it. The other one is this guy might ask you for a cigarette, and you might tell this guy, "Look, pal, I don't smoke cigarettes. If I had one, I would give it to you." And then about 5 minutes later, he follow you to another location and then ask the same question twice after you just told him the first time, I don't have a cigarette. Now, by the way, this video is for all men: black men, white men, Latino men, Asian men. So I don't want no one come to my YouTube channel talking about I'm racist and biased and all that other stupid bullshit that they don't know what the hell they be talking about in the comment section. Because I get what they call eyes and ears that tell me everything that happens behind the scenes on YouTube. And I mean everything. So this video is for all men: black men, white men, Latino men, Asian men. I don't care if you're from Mars and from outer space. It's for all men, okay? So I'm just making that clear so you guys can have a perfect understanding. It's for all men. This is to help men. This is a men's channel. If women try to watch this video, this ain't about women. This is about men's sexual frustration. So this is me talking about when men do something wrong. I'm going to call out the flaws and the mistakes that men make while talking to women, okay? I just want everyone to have a nice, perfect understanding and make myself very clear. Now that we got that all straightened out of the way, let's get to the math and the science of sexual harassment. Now, when a man follows a girl everywhere she goes, the first stage is stalking. You stalk a woman everywhere she goes. And when you stalk a woman, you make a woman uncomfortable, you make her uneasy, and then she feels this strange, weird energy. And I talked about this in the movie, and I guess I'll put it in a YouTube video. When you give off this strange, unfamiliar energy, the woman starts to say, "You're weird, you're strange, you're creeping me out, I don't like it." And then that's when the woman starts to scream and panic for help. You following her everywhere she goes. You're stalking her. Now, we all know, I know what some smart asses or some jackasses are going to say in the video, but Alex or Alexander, someone will probably say in the comment section, "Hey, Alexander, what about when a woman stalks a man?" We'll get to that. Right now, I want to get on what men's mistakes are first, and then we're going to touch on what happens when a woman does it to a man. So one thing at a time. Because you do get at least 2 or 3 smart asses that go, "Well, women do it too." Don't worry, I'll get to the females all in good time. Don't rush. Rome wasn't built in one day. Now, when you follow a woman everywhere, to the park, to the gym, to the movie theater, her job, her home, that's the first stage of sexual harassment. If a woman tell you that she's not interested in you, sometimes it's better to leave the girl alone, accept the fact that you got rejected, and just move on. See, a lot of men, a lot of younger men that's from the age of 18 to 25, a lot of y'all act like it's the end of the world. You act like you ain't gonna never see the woman ever again in your entire life. If that woman has some sexual attraction towards you, she is going to find you. You don't have to go find her. See, women who find men physically, sexually attractive, or as Big Boss Calvin83 on YouTube adequately put it, money, looks, and status in that particular order. If the woman wants you, the woman will find you. A lot of times, you ain't got to tell a woman where you live at. She'll find out if you live in a house or an apartment without you asking and telling. You ain't got to tell a woman if you got a job or not. She'll find out if you have a job or not. You ain't got to tell a woman if you got a car. She'll find out if you're taking the bus or if you have a car. She'll find this stuff out without you telling her if she's interested in you. See, a lot of y'all run away the woman before you can get to the next level of sexual attraction. It's called, I think comedians call it, it's called shooting yourself in the foot. You run away the girl before the girl can even reciprocate her feelings towards you. So then everything gets lost in translation. And then instead of you getting what they call a nice casual sexual encounter, you get what they call the cold shoulder, the roll in her eyes, the snapping her fingers. She's being mean, or as they call it, being feminist, because you're displaying some weird, strange energy that makes her uncomfortable. So if you follow her everywhere she goes, that's the first stage of sexual harassment. That's stage one. Stage two is you keep calling her phone and her text message. You keep text messaging. Well, after a while, she's going to start blocking the phone and deleting the text messages and putting the block because you don't know when to stop. If a woman stops text messaging you and 3 days go by, you text her, she don't text back, or 3 months go by, delete the cell phone number out of your cell phone. If a woman don't respond after you send her 5 to 10 text messages or 5 to 10 phone calls, that is another form of sexual harassment. Now, to me and you, it's stupid and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but to the woman, it makes a whole lot of sense. So, if you're that individual that's calling her 5 to 10 times and you sending her 5 to 10 text messages, you probably might want to stop. Because what's starting to happen now in the legal system is that women start saving all their text messages, and they save on their phone how many times you call, and they give that to their defense attorney lawyer. And guess what happens when the lawyer gets it? He sends it, or she sends it, to the police and to the judge. And once they get a hold of that information, that gets used against you in court. Now, again, some smart ass will say, well, what about when a man gets harassing phone calls and text messages from a woman? In that case, when a man gets harassed, it's usually by women he don't find physically, sexually attractive. And we'll get to that. But right now, we're talking about the mistakes men make, okay? We'll get to the females. Don't worry. Right now, you guys are probably mad because I'm talking about the mistakes men make. We're getting to the bad part, and then we're going to get to the females. I like to be fair and impartial. So, whatever question you're thinking about, it'll get answered in this video. In fact, we might have to make 2 or 3 of these videos, so eventually all questions will be answered, good or bad. Just be patient. Now, that I explained stage 1 and stage 2, let's talk about stage 3. You said one stupid thing and then the girl just goes all feminist on you. Okay. Now, in this one, I could say the woman could take some blame, because if the woman never gave a guy a chance to explain why he made a mistake, then usually I would say that in that case it's the woman's fault. Now, let me explain why this happens to you when you speak to these types of females. Because every time she meet a guy, they do the same thing. They all say the same thing, and after a while, she get frustrated because what you're saying, she don't know if it's real or if it's fake. So you put her at ease or uneasy, so then what's she supposed to do? Just sit there and let you say hi? Now, that is a bit of a double standard. So that's stage 3. Now, stage 4 is she called the police on me because I said hi. Now, in that case, the girl's just a bitch. I mean, what other better way could I possibly explain that? If a girl called the police on you for just saying hi, she's just a bitch. I'm talking about real specific reasons that are considered sexual harassment. Another one is trying to talk to a girl at the mall. You see it all the time. Now, normally at a mall, you normally don't get the police or security called on you. But when you decide to take it one step further by yelling and screaming, one has to assume that the men who do this are beta males. Oh yes, they're beta male men. You know that old saying that Suge Knight said in the movie All Eyes on Me, the Tupac movie that came out last year, when Suge Knight said there are a lot of boys born as male, but there are not too many born as men? Well, guess what? A lot of these guys that yell and scream out and call a girl a whore and a slut and run away before the girl can react to it, Those are our beta males. Those are men who never learn how to talk to a woman in their whole entire existence. All of junior high, all of high school, all of college, most of their entire existence of their life, they've never learned how to talk to a woman. So when they get rejected, not one time, two times, three times, 10 times, and before a smart ass says, what if you get rejected 25 times? Regardless if you get rejected 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times, most men do not know how to talk to a woman. Most men do not know how to strike up a interesting conversation with most beautiful, attractive women. Most men that when they speak to a woman, about 5 or 10 minutes into the conversation, they freeze up, and then just like that, there's nothing to talk about. And then the woman real fast, real quickly loses interest in the man. And then that's when you get accused of being antisocial because you don't know how to talk to a woman. And I know something about being antisocial and how to break the barriers of that. Now, here's another thing that the news media, because they're never going to tell you this, so I'm going to have to tell you, unfortunately, there is something that you can do about this situation. It's called don't do anything. It's almost like the same way of saying, why does the bad boy always get the booty and the nice guy never gets the booty? You know why the bad boy always gets the booty? Because the bad boy don't be trying to do anything to get the booty. The bad boy does understand in some capacity when they use their brain that if I try way too much to get the ass, it'll backfire and blow up my face. So the bad boy figures, well, why even try to make the attempt when I'm gonna let it do it all by itself? Now, here's something that might help you. When I say be the rock star and not be the creep, the weirdo, what I mean is you need to be 100% natural. You need to let things come natural to you. When you first learn how to drive a car, did you learn how to drive a car on the first try? No. It took you at least 5 or 6 or 7 tries to learn how to drive a car, a bicycle, a motorcycle, a truck. When you first learned how to play basketball, you weren't exactly that good at playing basketball. It took you a while to figure out how to play basketball, football, baseball, or any other highly competitive sport. It took you a while to learn how to play these sports. And talking to the opposite sex is the same exact way. It ain't gonna be exactly as easy as it looks. When I get attention from women, 99.99% of the time, I don't even be aware that I'm giving off powerful masculine energy when I get attention from females. A lot of times a woman might say, that's a nice shirt, that's a nice hat. I'm not even aware that my hat or my shirt is giving me the attention that I'm looking for. Now you might say, well, that's just you. And again, you got some smart asses on here that will say, well, that's just you. No, actually, any man can accomplish this and achieve this. Not even pickup artists and dating coaches with their jackasses, they're not going to teach you this. And if they know this ability, they're going to charge you a lot of money because, let's be honest, when you men go to these forums and you waste all your money trying to learn from a pickup artist or a dating coach, you get into more trouble when they tell you, well, tell a girl she look beautiful and nice. So you tell a girl she looks beautiful and nice, and then all of a sudden she's looking at you weird and strange, and you are trying to figure out in your head, why is this woman making this mad, sour look face at me? Because, again, it goes back to what I said in the video. A lot of y'all never learn how to talk to a woman. So I'm here to help you out with this. Sometimes when you're getting rejected 15 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, 50 times, and if you get rejected 100 times by a woman, sometimes the best thing to do is to just don't do anything. Especially if you're not sure on why you're getting the attention in the first place. Do you know how a lot of men get played by a woman? they keep getting the attention, and then when they find out that the only reason why they're getting the attention is because the girls say, I want revenge on my boyfriend, or I want revenge on my husband. And then you get your feelings hurt and your heart broken because you thought that because you were getting all of the attention that everything was perfectly just fine. If you're not sure on why a woman is giving you so much attention, sometimes it's better for you not to do anything. If a girl walks up to you and show you her butt, and she say, look, I'm not wearing no panties, and she tell you, do you want to feel on my butt? If you're not sure that if it's a good thing for you to do, how about you do the old tradition of sexual transmitted diseases? You know how they say the best way if you're not sure about having sex is to be absent? Guess what? If you're not sure if it's okay to touch a girl's butt, how about you just don't do nothing? If a girl asks you to kiss her, how about you just do absolutely nothing? See, you guys keep trying to spend so much energy making the woman like you that's what causes a woman to say sexual harassment to begin with. Now, if you're not doing anything and the woman says sexual harassment anyway, then she's just being a bitch. And then if you are doing it in a public location and there's lots of cameras, they'll see that you're being accused of sexual harassment. But a lot of times, you guys sometimes put yourself in situations and you don't even realize it until it's too little too late. You look at a girl's breasts on a bus or on a train. Yeah, she's going to look at it as sexual harassment, unfortunately. You look at her butt, she going to look at it as sexual harassment. I know to you it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense to me either. You even walk up to a girl and say, you look beautiful. I like your hair. She might say, okay, yeah, whatever, with a stank attitude. Guess what? You know what is really good on how to tell if it's not sexual harassment? In a form of a conversation. Sometimes it's better to just have a conversation with a girl. Here's another thing that I think most men make a mistake and don't realize. When you try to talk to the girl that gives you the most attention in the conversation, you try to make that girl become your future girlfriend or your future wife. There is a thin line between just talk to a girl for conversation and trying to make this girl become my girlfriend or my wife. Some girls, unfortunately, if they give you conversation, they can't be the same girl that you try to take out to lunch and dinner. Big no-no. And a lot of y'all try to do exactly just that. Oh, I like this girl, we're best friends, we're vibing. Some girls at work, you just can't take out to lunch and dinner because you don't know what they're going to do after you do that. They might go back and tell some stuff at work and then boom, sexual harassment case built against you. And sad part is you don't even know it. So if you meet a girl at the beach, the place is loaded with girls, okay? All you have to do is go to places like Santa Monica Pier, Huntington Beach, Venice Beach. Go to some places like that where it is appropriate for you to speak to those types of females. Trying to talk to the girls at the nightclubs and at the bars, you're doing that at your own risk. Especially if you don't have what they call money, looks, and status, you're doing it at your own risk. If you're trying to talk to a girl at your job or at the mall, you might want to be careful because the last thing you want is for a girl to call the police on you because you said something or you did something that's out of characteristics. Now let's get to when a woman is a weirdo, because I know some guys going to say, okay, bro, you spent about 20-25 minutes talking about the guys. Now talk about the females when they contradict themselves. When a man gets stalked, usually he gets stalked by a woman that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds. Usually when you get stalked by a woman, usually the woman is between the ages of 35 to 50 years of age, and they're women you don't find physically sexually attractive. It's one thing if you're a chubby chaser and you like plus size women, but for the average man, 80% of us, we don't like women 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds. We don't want to mess with someone's mother or grandmother unless you are a player and you like to smash every type of female on this planet, including alien females. If you've seen Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, if you know what I'm talking about, unless you're like him, you ain't got nothing to complain about. But the average man who gets stalked by women, women are usually from the ages of 35 to 50 years old, and usually they're women that you don't find physically sexually attractive. Have I been stalked by women? Oh yes, I've been stalked by women that I don't find physically sexually attractive. I've had women stalk me from school. I've had women stalk me from coming from the gym. I've had women stalk me when I was going to meet a best friend at the mall. So I've been stalked by women. And I'm trying to tell you that if the woman is from the ages of 35 to 50 years old, usually those women are weirdos. That's how you know you're being stalked. Now, if you call the police on a woman, I'm here to tell you that it's going to get ignored. And a lot of men are going to laugh at you and make fun of you if you call the police on a female because she stalked you. Now, I probably will make a part 2 to give out more examples on how you can tell a man or a woman is a weirdo. And the next one is going to be about clothes. How could the clothes you wear could make women say sexual harassment? I know you might find that hard to believe, but that's also taking place in this society. Until next time, peace.